Joining me on the show now, there are, what have been established, and quite a lot of them actually, 10 I think, 11 in fact, right across the county, are community council co-ops. Kim, good morning to you, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Greg, how are you?
I'm good, Kim, I'm good. I got a lot of hammering on your Facebook page, but I'll survive it.
Okay, sure, look, we can't control that, can we?
No, we can't. Come here, listen, Kim. What is a community council co-op?
Well, the aim of it is to bring power back to the people on the ground in the communities, because right now they don't have any as such. The elected public representative, and as soon as they get into the chambers, well, as you know, like, they don't really have as much power as people think. You know, a lot of the councils, when we had the urban councils, you know, we had actually more power, but now power seems to be centralised to Dublin. Do you know what I mean? I think we have one of the worst records of local government sort of power to the people than in any country in Europe, apparently. Yeah, I did read that.
So say for instance, there's one established in Ishone, South Buncrana, Cardona,
yeah,
Ballyshannon, Donegal Town, Glentees, Ballybofey. There are others in other parts of the country. So how would this work? People join the community council co-op.
Yeah.
They talk about various issues in their local areas. You know, and we probably could guess the issues that people feel they're being left behind on by the government or the councils or whatever, and others would disagree, don't get me wrong. So you have a meeting, you say, right, this is an issue in our area. So how do you then sort of progress that to maybe introducing change? Because we don't need another talking shop, Kim. So how do you step that up then to having a positive impact in the local area?
Well, say for instance we have like 300 or 400 people in the co-op part of it, so the council is formed already, right? And that's a nucleus of like 12 people who just, you know, are responsible for the everyday running of it. And then the co-op would be the members, you know, the people on the ground who don't really want to have, you know, an executive role in the council. They then would vote on issues, and then we would bring that vote from the people to the public representative, the councillor. And now then, when he's in the chamber and he's talking, he can actually now refer to, look, there is a community council on the ground in my area, and I have to consult with them, and I will consult with them. So it gives him a bit more power as well. So it'll be...
Do you think councillors will engage, Kim? Do you think they will engage with the co-ops? Or do you
well, I think they will, because when you think if there's 300 or 400 people, maybe even 500, 600, whatever we're aiming for, we're going to get them anyways. Well, when you think about that, like, that's quite a section of the electorate. You know, these are people who will be voting for these public representatives. So these are people who would vote for councillors. So now it gives the councillors, and this isn't about me, Greg, this is about the people. This is for the people, by the people. It's not about me at all. I'm just helping to organise it and drive it. But you know, they will embrace it, because why wouldn't they? Like, they've now got a section of the community who's highly organised and who will be able to, you know, affect change through a voting system, and they can then take that to the chamber.
Obviously, you've been quite vocal on immigration and crime and what have you. Like, is there do you think this will end up having a certain political leaning? And there's no shame in that, by the way. I'm not saying that as a criticism. Or do you believe it will be all issues? You know, dirty streets, health. You know, what? Do you think there'll be a sort of a leaning in this, Kim, or do you think all issues will end up on the agenda? Or what's your sense?
Yeah, all issues on the table, everything and anything that has to do with, you know, any developments being put into our communities that we may not agree with. You know, the government passes legislation all the time, and they roll it out all the time, and they presume and assume that we're okay with it. Well, that presumption and assumption, you know, has to be sort of rebutted, if you like, because they make the claim and presume and assume that we're okay with it. But in reality, like, even the dogs on the street don't agree with a lot of things, and it's got kind of out of hand, Greg, and the people, even though they have a vote, they don't really have, you know, a first-hand say in what's going on in their community, and this is just bringing the power back.
What we're hearing now, though, is elected representatives, you know, heard from Park McLaughlin, Noel Blaney last week, other councillors sort of recognising that there are issues in towns and villages. Is the mainstream politics not already sort of moving into this area? Words that, conversations are being had now that would have been described as being far right 2 years ago. Is the political landscape not already sort of moving in a direction where there seems to be a consensus about, how many new people an area can take, criminality, potential criminality, integration? These topics are being had at, conversations are being had out in the open now.
Yeah, well, basically, Greg, everyone is fed up with what's going on. Everybody knows it's wrong, and everybody knows there is no far right in Ireland, and that there's just like people who want the right thing, and these are common sense things and values that people just want to be treated fairly. Like if you want, like, there is systemic racism against the Irish people, who a lot of them feel they're being pushed aside, and a lot of them feel that there's developments being pushed into their communities that they really don't want. It's not that they don't want people, they just do not want developments that are coming in that are just purely like an industry for profit and moving people around. It's not fair on communities that this type of thing is happening. But like that's one issue. There's loads.
Yeah, of course there is. No, it's an honest question, just so people understand before they join what they're getting involved in. And then, as you pointed out, it's more than just one issue. Finally, is this really a political movement by stealth? Again, that's not a loaded question, but given the level of organisation in this county and across the country, and sort of the limited breakthrough into elected politics from people, with certain views, do you see politicians coming from this movement?
I'm not sure about that. We're trying to keep it non-political as possible, and it's just about, like, at council level, it's about the people in the communities, and a lot of councillors should actually, in my opinion, not crack the party whip when it comes to local issues, which some of them actually do and some of them don't. But it shouldn't be politically orientated, and the community council is definitely not for that. It's just for the people, by the people, giving people back a say. This has never been done before. This is unprecedented, and it's happening big time. There's 11 community councils now established all over Ireland, and we have actually 6 in Donegal and counting.
All right,
so yeah,
indeed. Okay, well, listen, we'll see how it pans out. Thanks for that, Kim McMenamin there. 086 60 25,000 if you want to have a say. All right, it is 11 o'clock. Time for a news update.